Okay, let's see, it's Monday. Welcome to Facebook. Well, no, it's not Monday, it's Thursday. I usually broadcast live on a Monday, but I didn't this week because I wasn't well. So now it's Thursday. Let's get the day straight, Jacqueline. There we go. Right, so it's Thursday. It's time for Facebook Live. You'll have to bear with me this evening because as you can see, I'm not able to broadcast the way I normally do, sort of landscape, and I'm not quite sure why. Hi Anne, how are you? Good to see you. So yes, I've had a bit of a fiddle this evening to try and get it working, but I'm not quite sure what's going on. So until I get used to the new area in which I have to work, because I can't see my phone either, then if I'm going out of screen or you can't see me, then just let me know. So yeah. So yeah, it's technology's a wonderful thing, isn't it? Just as I thought I was getting the hang of this Facebook Live thing, then it throws me a curveball. What can you do? What can you do? Anyway, so what have we got? So yes, I've got, as usual, I've got 4 cool projects for you tonight, which I had ready for you on Monday, but obviously we're going to have to do them tonight instead. Well done to those of you who took advantage of our 15% off the stamp sets. That offer ended on Tuesday, I think it was. So quite a lot of you got yourself some nice stamp sets, and some of the sets that we're using tonight were part of that offer. But don't forget that the Designer Series paper sale is still on for all of October. So that's basically buy 3 packets of Designer Series paper from a selection, and you get to choose one for free. As I say, that goes on all through October, and I'll post the link to the page on my website in the description of this once I've posted it up onto my page when I'm done. Anything else to tell you? Oh yes, I wanted to tell you about we had a class last night. Hold on one second. We had a class last night which was the second of our Christmas card making classes, and I just wanted to share with you the cards that we made. Just bear with me a second, sorry Anne, I'll be right there. Right, here we go. So, we've done the Carols of Christmas class, which Anne, you know about and you've done, but this is the Star of Light class, and these are the 4 cards that you can make as part of this. So we made these last night, and obviously you can get these online. They work the same way as the Carols of Christmas. I'm just checking. No, you can't see that. So, yeah. Okay, tell you what we'll do. We'll show you them one at a time so that I can get a feel for what you can actually see in the video. So we've got this one, which is just some simple stamping. We've got this one which uses the die set and we've got a bit of an aperture going on there. We've got this one which has got that gorgeous raised star, which is the die cut, and then we've got this one which is a Z-fold card. And Z-fold cards I love because they're really, really easy to do, but they look fantastic, and in fact we're going to do one of these, not this one, but we're going to do a Z-fold tonight. So yes, all the details are on my blog of this particular online class, and as I say, there's lots of different options. Hi Lynn, good to see you. So yeah, there's lots of different options in terms of whether you just buy the online tutorial, the video tutorial, or you buy the tutorial and the bits to make the project, or you buy the tutorial plus the bits plus the stamp set, all sorts of stuff. And Hearts Come Home for Christmas, yes, and that one I am working on at the moment, and I'm hoping to have that ready in the next week or so. But what I would say is tomorrow night my husband is coming home. Ooh, yay! So he's been overseas most of the summer and I haven't seen very much of him, and he's coming home for good tomorrow night. And at the same time, my dad is flying in from Ireland for the weekend. So I shall have my 3 most favourite people in the world with me this weekend. So my dad, my husband and my son. So I'm looking forward to that. But the reason I tell you that is not just because I'm really excited about it, but it means that obviously I shall be spending a little bit more time on family and a little less time potentially on Stampin' Up. So the Hearts Come Home, I'm planning to have it next week, but that might slip a little bit depending on... thanks, Anne. Don't worry, I will enjoy my weekend. But yes, that may slip depending on how things go. We've got some nice stuff planned. We're taking Rupert down to Winchester to the Science Museum and Planetarium down there. She really, really likes. So if any of you got kids or grandkids, it's well worth a day out, because it's basically a science museum made for children. So all of the exhibits are to be touched and interacted with and played with, and they've got a cool planetarium with lots of shows that they put on, and it's all geared around kids. So it's really, really, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. But anyway, let's get on to the card making, shall we? So first up is this one here. And like I said, guys, what I can see on my phone screen is different to what's visible on the computer screen. So if I'm going out of shot or you can't see, then just send me a comment and let me know, okay? So yes, this one is using the Daisy Delight stamp set. And Lynn, this is for you. We're going to do some more heat embossing this time. So this one I've done using gold, but for tonight we're going to do it using silver. So I'm just going to put that up there for 1 second and bring in my pieces, okay? So I've heat embossed that already, and I've already done one of the daisies. So we start with our Whisper White card base, as usual. Fold that in half. Okay, and then we've got a piece of silver foil. And we're going to emboss this bit. But I need a die, yes. We're also going to die cut some leaves. So let me just go get the Big Shot. 1 second. Okay, so this is the Petal Burst embossing folder. We're just going to run that through. So we take off our adapter and we just have base plate, cutting plate, embossing folder and other cutting plate. And then we just roll it through. And there we go. We've got our lovely embossed panel. And then we're going to have this silver panel is going to go behind this white bit here. But I want some leaves, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to die cut the leaves out of the center. So it's a good little trick to try and get the most from your, to try and get the most from your foil or glimmer or any of your really fancy paper, because, you know, you don't want to be going mad with that. That's a bit special. So it's just... I'm going to die cut 2 leaves. So this leaf comes from the, where does it come from? This comes from the Oh So Eclectic Thinlits dies. There we go. Bum. Okay. So what you'll see is we've got these 2 little holes here. But obviously they'll be covered up when we put our panel across it, so it'll be all right. Right, so let's move the Big Shot out of the way. Don't need that for the moment. Okay, and then we're going to do some stamping and embossing. So let me bring in my embossing stuff. Okay, so we've got the Daisy Delight. I'm just going to use this large one here. Okay, and then we've got our embossing buddy and our embossing powder. We're going to use silver for this one. Now, we're also going to use our punch to punch it out. But a tip I would give you when you're stamping with the Daisy Delight, with this big stamp, and you're planning on punching it out, what makes it easy is if you make sure I've got that lined up, that when you stamp with the petals facing straight up, because that's how the punch will punch out. So it'll just make it much easier when feeding your cardstock in. Okay, and we're just using some of our vellum cardstock here. And because this is nice and thick, now, did you spot my deliberate mistake there, guys? I didn't use my buddy first of all. So let's flip it over. But yeah, as I was saying, this vellum is really good for heat embossing on because it's quite thick. If you're embossing on other vellums, some of them they can be a bit thin, so just be a bit careful. Okay, because you might scorch it. All right, there we go. And then let's pop our silver on there. Lovely. Feed that back in. Cover the lid before you start to emboss or use your heat gun. Okay, and I've got a new heat gun this week. I've got my new Stampin' Up one because this is a bit quieter than the other one, hopefully. So my tip for you is always let it heat up for a moment first before you bring it to the card. Because that will just give you a better embossing. It won't warp your card as much. So there we go. Heats up quite fast. So let's see if I can get this so you can see it turn. There we go. Look at that. I love that moment when the heat embossing, when the powder just turns. And there we go. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. That's it for the heat embossing. You got your order, Lynn? Good, good, good. I hope you're having fun with it. That didn't take long, actually. That was good. Right. Here we go. So, let's just line that up and pop it out. There we go. Okay, so let's bring back in our pieces. So we've got our card base, we've got our silver panel, our embossed panel, we've got our two flowers, we've got our leaves, and we've got our little, I've embossed, this is the greeting from the stamp set, so I did that. I prepared it earlier. How organised of me was that, eh? So I'm just going to trim the end of this. In fact, I want it trimmed quite a bit more than that, so I'm just going to trim the end off, and then we just pop it in, line it up. There we go. All right, and then I've got a little bit of our silver ribbon to use, so we're just going to assemble now. So we take our flower and we're just going to take a glue dot on the back here, and then we're just going to offset them like so, and then we want a dimensional one. You want a dimensional on the back. Okay, and then we're going to take our white panel and we just want some glue on the back like so. When I'm sticking down embossed panels, I tend to put a little bit extra glue on there just because it's not a flat surface, so just to make it grab nicely. And then we'll just line that up, center it on the silver panel. Okay, and then again just glue it on the back. No, I don't want to do that. Oh, I nearly forgot. Okay, I want to put the ribbon on before I attach it to my cardstock. So I'm just going to put a little bit of snail on here. What I want to do is just use it just to hold it where I want it. I want it a little bit higher up than that actually. I want it there. And then you can just draw it across so that it's nice and straight. Down on the other side and then trim it. I like to do this because it just gives you a bit of, you can play around with it and make sure you're happy with it before you stick your card base down. So look, let's just get that right. Now it's a lot easier when you haven't already put glue on the back. There we go. Okay, and then we're just going to pop that on there. Alrighty. So now, put glue on there. So now we bring in our flower. Or, oh, I've put this on the wrong side. So I want it on the back, like so. Here we go. I'm just going to line that up in the corner like that. We're going to take our sentiment panel, pop some dimensionals on the back. And then line that up with the ribbon slightly. There we go. There we are. And then we'll bring in our leaves, which are here. I'm just using glue dots. I'm just going to put a glue dot on the back, like this. And then just tuck them in behind the daisy. Put on this side. You like the silver and the white, Anne? Yeah, I have to say, ordinarily I'm a silver person rather than a gold person, but I quite like the gold. So I'm going to use our silver faceted gems. So I'm just going to pop one in the center there, and I'm just going to take and add just one or two. Just like so, and there we have it. Looking at it, I actually think if you change the sentiment, these would make really good wedding cards. Actually, there we go. So we've got gold, and we've got silver. So, and you like the silver. What about you, Lynn, or anybody else who's on? I'm having difficulty seeing everybody tonight, so let me know which one you prefer. Okay, so that's our first card. Okay, there we go. Let's just... I'm a bit disorganized tonight because normally I have everything laid out a particular way so that I can get at it and it's on the right sides and everything, but now because I've had to flip my phone around and everything, everything's on the wrong side. But you know what? We're fine. We'll manage. Right, so the next one we're going to make is, you like the silver? I guess it's silver all round then. Silver is the winner for tonight. Right, so there, next we're going to make this one. And I love this because this isn't actually stamping. This is from our Wood Textures Designer Series paper, which is one of the Designer Series paper that's on offer. And I just love how with the lighter colours you can stamp on your paper to create a really nice effect. So this one is done using cherry cobbler. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a blue one. So we start with a soft sky card base, like so, and then we have our early espresso layer that goes on top, and then we have a layer of our Designer Series paper. Okay, so what we're going to do, and then the stamp set that we're going to use is the Woodwords. And I'm going to use this. We did one a few weeks ago using this, but I'm actually going to colour this one in. So we need this, and we need the heart, and we need the... I'm going to use a note for you on this one this time. Okay, so let's grab our block. So I'll pop that one on there. Oop. That one on there. one on there. So let's put that up there. So we want our panel here, which is for our sentiment. So this is a note for you. And I'm going to stamp this to the left because we're going to put our little panel here to the right. So I'm just going to stamp it to the side, like so. All right, and then I'm going to take, I need a little scrap, hang on 1 second. There we go. And I'm going to stamp the heart now in blue. So I'm going to take the soft sky, which we've used before, okay, which is the same colour as the card base. I'm just going to stamp that onto here. Alrighty, we've got a little bit of an edge there, but that's alright because we're going to punch it out. So we're going to use our, hang on 1 second, I'm just going to get my circle punches. Okay, sorry about that. Right, so there's our, we're going to use the 1 inch punch to punch out the heart, and then we're going to use the 1 1/4 inch punch to punch out an early espresso circle, so that they just layer on top of each other like so. Okay, so that's that, and then we're going to take our panel here. I'm going to use some scrap paper. Going to do a bit. So we're going to ink this up using early espresso. So I want it to kind of go a little bit diagonally. I want it like that, and then like that. Okay. So then what we'll have is we'll put our panel across like this, and we'll get our thing. Okay, we'll even put it with the sentiment facing outwards. Alright, so now what I'm going to do, which I thought might be nice, is I'm going to actually colour. I'm going to colour these flowers just to give it a little bit more interest. And I'm going to use my blender pen for this. So what I'm going to do is, getting a blender pen is a really good way to be able to colour with your ink pads rather than having to invest in all the markers. Because all you do is you take the colour, you squeeze your lids together and you get a nice little pool of colour in here. And then all you need to do is just pick it up with your blender pen and then just colour it. And it doesn't need to be anything fancy. I'm just adding a little bit of colour to the panels. Just to tie them all together a little bit. And you can see I'm not paying any great attention to it because it's our background piece and a lot of it's going to be covered up anyway. So as I say, it's just really to give a little hint of colour just to tie the card together. There we go. And then where's my panel? See where I'm going, so I know that I need to colour up here. And you can colour over the solid images as well. There we are. I'll do this one. And you could add green to this if you wanted. There we go. And then when you're finished with your blender pen, all you do is you just colour with it on a scratch piece of paper until it colours clear. And then you can use it again on any colour. So that's really good. Alright, and now we're ready to put it together. So we just want a bit of glue. Let's close that up. So you want some glue on the back here. And then we want some glue on the back here. Like so. Alright, isn't that cool? I love that. I like the blue actually. Oh, I've just realised that's crooked. Hang on. This is where the wet glue is great, because you can do that if you realise that your panel is not quite straight. Whereas if I'd stuck that down with snail or double-sided tape or something, I wouldn't have had that latitude to do that. So we're just going to put some glue on the back of our white strip. And attach it here, and then we're going to attach this with glue, so we're keeping it quite flat, this one. I'm just going to lay that across like so. Alright, and then we'll bring in our panel, and we're going to use glue to attach the white circle to the brown. And then we're going to pop, ooh, my fingers are sticky now, oops. And then we're going to pop a dimensional on the back. Here we go. Stick that there. And then it needs just one more thing, and that is some Wink of Stella. So I'm just going to colour over the heart. There we go, and then just add a few touches of it to the flowers, just to give it that gentle, subtle sheen. And there we have it. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that sheen? Isn't that just, again, I just like this, the simplicity and the rusticness of that one. So here we have the cherry cobbler, and here's the blue. So again, yes, Anne, I agree. Soft Sky and Early Espresso together are just absolutely gorgeous. They're just such an elegant, they're a rich combination without being overpowering, if you know what I mean. Absolutely gorgeous. So there we go. Right, so that's card number 2, but I just wanted you to see that, basically to just get the idea that don't forget that you can stamp onto your patterned paper. You don't have to keep it blank or just use it as it is, and this pattern in particular really lends itself to being stamped upon. So there we go, that's card number 2. So the next card I'm going to do is, when I showed you the let's clear some of these out. I showed you the Star of Light class, which had that Z fold in it. We're going to do this one next. So I'm just going to, that's what I'm looking for. I'm just going to clean my stamps off. Just 1 second. I'm going to have to completely rethink my layout for next time if I'm going to have to broadcast this way from now on. Can't say I'm liking it, I have to be honest. I preferred it the other way because I can see better what I'm doing, and I can see better the comments and what you guys are saying and stuff. But hey, we've got to go with the flow, haven't we? Right, so this is the one that we're going to make. Look at that. So this is using, oh, what's the name of this one? This is another one of the papers that's on offer. Let me just check the name of it for you. This is the Be Merry Designer Series paper. So this is again part of the buy 3 get 1 free card pack offer. And I've made it a Christmas card, obviously, because it's Christmas. And I've used the Oh What Fun stamp set, which is in the main catalogue. It's carried over from last year for this gorgeous Happy Christmas sentiment, and then the 'Tis the Season inside. But this card paper, this paper, whilst it's designed for Christmas, is not. You prefer the red, Lynn? Yeah, I like both. Yes, but as I was saying, this this paper here, that's obviously a very Christmassy pattern. But one of the other patterns that's in here is this one. which is not Christmassy at all, but could still look Christmassy. I do like the reindeers on the back. But what I wanted to do was to just make a non-Christmas card using the same designer series paper, because sometimes when it comes to Christmas, we can be a bit reluctant to kind of invest in stuff because we think, oh, it's only going to last us for a little while. But this way, a lot of the papers in our packs, particularly the seasonal ones, are designed that they have a combination so that you can use sides of it at other times of the year. So I'm going to make a masculine birthday card. So Z fold, right? Easy, easy, easy. We fold our card base in half, like we always do, right? And then all you do is take the front and fold it back on itself in half. Don't need any measurements, don't need to worry about scoring lines, any of that. That's all you do. And there's your Z. How cool is that? So easy, but it just gives that little bit extra to your cards. And then all we've got is we've got a panel to go on the inside, so I'm just going to pop that in with glue. There we go. I'm trying to use up all my almost finished glues and keep the nice full ones for the cards. Right, so let's pop that in there. And then in the inside, what we're going to do is we have our panel here. So I'm going to, because it's a black card, I'm just going to put a white panel on here so that you've got somewhere to write your message. There we go. Make sure it's not showing. I'm just going to trim this slightly. Hang on. Let's do that. There we go. Okay. And then on the outside, I've just cut a strip. Again, I'm going to trim that slightly. I'm going to pop it on there. Look, my card has gone wonky again. What am I doing tonight, ladies? What am I on? So let's gently hang on, have I stopped broadcasting? No, there we go, my computer had frozen. Right, so I'm going to come back to that, all right, and then we're going to attach that on here. Okay, there we go. And then for the sentiment, I'm going to take this set, which I don't use much, but I do really enjoy it, and it's called Super Duper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Yay sentiment, which is this one, and I'm going to stamp that in black on a piece of white cardstock. Okay, just going to pop that there, like that, and then I'm just going to die cut it with a circle, and I'm going to cut a circle, a scallop circle of black. So I'll be back in 1 second while I do this on my big shot, because you don't really need to see all of that. That's a bit boring, really. Okay, so that one, and then that one. Okay, so there we have it. Let's bring this back in. Oh yeah, I'm liking that. So I'm just going to glue this. You can see I've used my stitched shaped circle here. I love that set of framelits. It's just the best. So now comes the trickiest part of these Z-fold cards. And that's when you're attaching your... What? Now that was straight a minute ago, guys. There's somebody coming in and moving all my sticky bits while I'm not looking. That is just so weird. How strange. Right. So yes, when... I've got a gremlin tonight. When you're sticking your panel to your fold, you've got to remember that it's only going to stick on one half. Yeah, you don't want to put glue here because it will just stick. So just be aware. So what I tend to do is just lay it down where you want it to go, flip it over, and then we're going to put dimensionals here. And you can see I don't want them past this line here because otherwise they'll show. Okay. There we go. I'm going to pop that there. And then I think this needs a little something extra. So I'm going to add this one, Time to Celebrate. Yep. So I'm going to pop this out. And I'm going to just stamp it on the end here. I'm going to do it in black. Make sure it's the right way around. That's it, and then I'm just going to get my punch. It's this little label punch we've got here. Got a mark there, so I'm just going to punch it one more time. That happens sometimes if you press too hard. It happens with the red rubber rather than the photopolymer. The other thing is sometimes I just need to trim the edge of my stamp. Sometimes it's just a little bit more rubber than I'd like. There we go. And what I'm going to do is take a mini dimensional. I'm going to pop that. Put 2 on there. And I'm just going to pop it down there. Like that. And there we go. How's that? Can you see that? There we are. So let's clear everything out of the way again so you can see. So like I said, we started with the Christmas, but using the same paper and just changing the stamp set. We got a very non-Christmassy card. Quite like that actually. Yeah, I've got a male birthday coming up that I think that'll be perfect for. So there we go. That's card number 3. So now on to our final card, which is this one. I have to say I'm really, really proud of this card because I entered it into a design challenge and I won. So I was really, really pleased. So I do like to enter, I don't know if any of you guys do it, but I like to enter my cards into challenges. There's loads of them out there, all different kinds, all different themes and what have you. But I find they're really great to just maybe provide you a little bit of inspiration or just push you in a direction that maybe you hadn't done in a while and just try things that you hadn't done in a while. So this one, I used one of my new favourite colour combinations, which is fresh fig and crushed curry. I really, really liked it. And again, using that Wood Textures Designer Series paper, which I think is gorgeous. Yeah, that's what I love about Lynn, if you're talking about the green one, that's what I love about this one, because it's just easy, but really, really striking. And it'd be even more striking when you get your things straight, which I haven't done. But never mind. So anyway, on to this card. So I'm going to change the colours up slightly on this one. So let's move that in there. So I'm going to use this stamp set, which I haven't used for quite a while, which is the Watercolour Wings, and it comes with a coordinating framelit so that you can cut out the butterfly, but it uses what we call 2-step stamping, so that you can layer and build on the colours. So the colours I'm going to use for these is Berry Burst and Powder Pink. Alright, so all we're going to do is, I've already die cut my circle, and I've got a little strip for my sentiment. I've got my cream card base, very vanilla. I've got a scrap of green for our leaves, and we've got again another piece of that designer series paper, slightly different wood pattern. But how we do this stamps is, we've got our large solid image, which is this one here. Just going to pop that on, big block, this one. And what I tend to do is I stamp the lighter colour in this image, and then you've got various options. You can use this one or just do the edges. You've got a couple of options in terms of adding accents to it, and then you've got a smaller butterfly as well, which works the same way. So I'm going to use this one here. Okay, so I'm going to pop that on there. Alright, so we have our scrap here of very vanilla. So like I said, I've got, what have I got here? I've got powder pink. I'm just going to ink that up. Get plenty of ink on there because it is quite a light colour. I'm just going to stamp that down. There we go. And then we're going to bring in our accent, and we're going to stamp in the Berry Burst. So quite a nice dark intense colour. And then what you do is you just line it up. So try and do that through the telephone. But if you're doing this in real life, you'll be able to see right through it, so it'll be alright. Okay. And there we have it. Look at that. Beautiful. And then what we want to do is, because at the moment it's just a set of wings, we want our little body. So just take this one, and I'm going to stamp that in the Berry Burst. So again, you just line it up like so, and there we have it. Alright, and then all you do is you take your die, you lay it over the top, and you cut it out. So I'm just going to do that. Bear with me 1 second. I'll be right back. Let's try and get it. Here we go. So then we have our butterfly, and it just pops out. There we go. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a sponge, and then I'm going to take my pink, and I'm just going to ink around the edges, like so. Just so you don't have a big a cream border around the edge. It looks a bit better, I think. I could sponge the edge with the darker colour, but I just prefer the pink. So there we go. Okay. And then on my scrap in the Berry Burst, I'm going to stamp the tiny little "Just for You" sentiment. Let's pop that near the end. That's it. And then use my punch to just tag on the end. That through, line it up, and punch. There we go. And whilst we're punching, we'll grab the leaf punch. I'm just going to punch out 2 leaves. There we go. And then we have one more bit of stamping to do. So I'm going to bring back in my scrap paper. And we've got our little circle. And we're going to take this stamp here, which is just like a little texture image. Okay, and we're going to just, in Sahara Sand, which is here somewhere. There it is. There we go. And just randomly all over, just to create a little bit of extra texture behind the butterfly, like that. Okay, very scientific, as you can see. Alright, so that's our stamping done. Now we're just going to assemble. So let's bring our bits in. So we've got our card base. So let's start with our panel. So we've got our butterfly here, and we want to give our butterfly a little bit of sparkle and a little bit of dimension. So what I do is just take my bone folder, and like you're curling ribbon with the scissors, you just curl his wings like that. Same on the other side. Okay, and then flip him over and just curl the tips of his wings back up again. So you get a really nice shape to his wings, to his body. Okay. And then again, same with this one, we'll just give it a little bit of a wiggle. And as always with the leaves, I like to just pinch them a little bit, like so. Again, just to give them a little bit of dimension. So let's come back in on here. We want our wink of Stella. And like that, I'm just going to add some Stella to the dark bits, just to the accents. You could put it all over if you wanted, but I like to just accent it. There we go. Okay, we've got a nice shimmery butterfly. Beautiful. Alright, so we're just going to attach him using a dimensional on the back here. Pop him just coming off the panel like so. And then we're going to take our mini dimensionals, pop those on the back of our sentiment. Here we are. Okay, and just lay it down underneath. So that's our sentiment panel ready. So we'll put that to one side for a moment, and we'll bring in our piece of paper. So now I'm going to take some linen thread, okay, and all I'm going to do is just wrap this around a few times. Whoop. Oop, it's getting everywhere. Ooh. Right, so 1, 2, I think 3 should do it. Okay, and then we'll just, if I can find my scissors, there it is. We'll just trim it off. Okay, and then what I want to do is just tie it in a bow on one side. So to get an idea of where I want it, I'm just going to bring back in my panel. I'm just going to lay it on here, and I can see that I want my knot about here. Okay, and we'll just, it doesn't have to be a tidy bow, it could be a messy bow. If you can't manage a bow, then just a knot is absolutely fine. Okay, don't stress about your bows. Alright, and then I'm going to just cross the pieces over, because I just think it gives a nicer look when they're crossed over like that. Okay, and then what I want to do is I want to gather my pieces underneath the bow. So what I'm going to do is just grab a glue dot, okay, and I'm going to place it here, and then just press everything down onto it, and that should hold everything in place. Okay, I'm just going to trim this slightly. like so. All right. So then we're going to put some dimensionals on the back of our circle. Okay, and pop that on there, like so. And then we bring in our flower, our leaves even. And just using our glue dots, I'm just going to put a glue dot on the back here. If it will stay, that's it. And then I'm just going to slide it in behind, like so. And then, oh, there's the other one right in front of me. And then pop that one there. And pop that, just slide it in underneath. And just put my bow on top. There we go. And then we just want some, whoops, there goes the lid. Never mind. Okay, we're just going to put some glue on the back. And I've cut this paper to be the same size as the card front. Okay, normally I do a border, but for this one I wanted it to be the same size. So we just go. Just going to trim my card, just 1 second. Just had a little smidge that I didn't want. And there we have it. Really, I like this kind of a rusticy kind of a look. So we've got a pink one, and then we've got a yellow and fig one. Do you have a favourite? Let me know. Right, so there we go. So we have, let me see if I can bring back in the cards that we made. So we have our butterflies. Okay, then we had our silver and gold. So we've got our silver. Then we had our wood textures. So we ended up with a blue one of those. And then we had our Christmas card Z-fold. And we finished with a very non-Christmassy, masculine-y type card. So which is your favourite for the evening? Anne, you like the soft sky one? Yeah, I think that one turned out really well. And you like the pink one, Lynn? I think I was talking to your mum today, and she was looking forward to the butterflies, so I think she's going to enjoy that one. So there you go. Like I said, what I will do is I will, when this is done, is I'll put this on my blog, and it'll have all of the dimensions and all of the supplies and everything for you. And I'll put the link up for you. So thank you very much for joining me this evening. Only a few days late, but hey ho, better late than never. And hope you enjoyed the cards. And make sure to, I'd love it if you shared this this video so we could get the word out there. And I hope to see you next week. Thank you very much. Bye.